Hello and welcome to Unedited Economics. Leave. This is for me to relearn things that I need to remember. This is not your channel. You are not invited. Please see yourself out and remember to hit the subscribe button. So today we're talking about comparative government in Nigeria. So let's start off with the historical development of Nigeria. So there's always been some kind of organization in Nigeria, no matter what level of organization. So it started with the Noack Society, but had been there since about the beginning of time. And then the Hausa moved in, or Hausa, about 1200 and established a city. And then the Yoruba was another tribe that was a kingdom that was in the south. So there are three dominant ethnic groups in Nigeria: the Hausa, the Yoruba, and the Igbo. So the Middle East and Europe has had the biggest impact on Nigeria in history. Islam was brought to the Hausa, which increased education and literacy. Hassan Danfodio was a leader of Nigeria. I'm going to butcher every single name, preface. Was the leader of Nigerian Islam, and he promised a lot of things like social equality and no conflict from war. Unfortunately, due to him not carrying out these promises, the view of Islam kind of declined, but he still established the Soko Caliphate, which is the largest political power in Nigerian history, and actually African history, and that really helped create the Nigerian state. It contributed to a little bit of unity. So then we get to a lot of European imperialism. So Europe, mostly Britain, started trading with the tribes on the coast of Nigeria, trading slaves, unfortunately. But eventually, slave trade became illegal, yay, which significantly decreased the amount of slave trade, but it was still prevalent. It was mostly, although in charge by Britain, it was mostly run by Sharia law, which Britain respected for the most part. There was a lot of a kind of distant power. So Britain put Nigerian leaders in charge of Nigeria, had it run by Sharia law, and Nigeria still collected a lot of that wealth. But Europe knew that Nigeria eventually was going to want its independence and kind of foresaw that. So Britain kind of let Nigeria go as a part of the Commonwealth. So Nigeria would still be contributing to that European imperialism. So once they established independence, Britain established regional assemblies, prime minister, a government with a governor general. So that kind of started the first Republic of Nigeria. So then there was a lot of conflict, still is. It started with the House of Representatives, which was split on a lot of issues like local power, national identity, also a lot of religious and ethnic divides. So in about 1965, the Igbos rebelled and took over the government. They ended the constitution that was in place, they got rid of a lot of political parties, and they created a unitary government. Unfortunately, then the North rebelled and took over the government and kicked the South out. And the Igbos didn't like that, so they succeeded and created the Republic of Biafra. Unfortunately, with them, they took all the oil and jobs, so the North couldn't let them go and had to bring them back. So in the end, they all ended up as its own country, mad and divided, which kind of started the military era. So after the Civil War, the military kept the country of Nigeria intact and established the federal military government. They broke Nigeria up into three groups and began to rely less on agriculture and more on oil trade. There was a lot of public support for this federal military government, but soon it was corrupted and full of crime, because that can be seen with military governments. So there was a coup that's started by General Multa, and he failed, but the coup was continued by a man named Olusegun Ambanju. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He failed. So then we get to the Second Republic.